You know what? Since I'm not too far into this video and somebody's asking if they can join the stream, let them join the stream. Um, all right. I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce that name. The Quain, or is it Thequain? I don't know. I guess if you hop in here, you're probably about to tell me. All right. I know who this is, I think. How's it going?
Can you hear me?
I can.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay.
Awesome. What's up?
No, I just want to say you actually have one of the greatest vegan channels currently on YouTube because you actually
Oh,
get
thank you.
vegans to think. Yeah, because you get vegans to think about like stuff that people like meat eaters like me would think about. So you're trying to like preemptively warn them about arguments that we will have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
So
and to me, it's not about the warning. A lot of people do that. Like I'll see someone like Ben Shapiro like prepare people to debate abortion or something like that, and they're warning somebody of this is what you're going to come against, so this is how you go back at them. And to me, I'm always about finding the truth. So I'm not even telling people like, hey, do this because this will make us look better. It's make sure to discuss this topic because that will make us all more knowledgeable.
yeah, because the thing is, a lot of vegans don't understand that the best thing that they should not do is talk about like either the environment or health because the facts is like kind of like iffy on it.
Mm-hmm.
But like of my research is not looking good for vegans. But they
Gotcha.
keep the so they keep trying to spread misinformation and they keep getting debunked. And even though like I try and like tell them facts, even though I'll say like I'm not anti-vegan, but I will like I've been learning to cook vegan food in case I have a vegan friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to like meet vegans halfway, but they have to understand like I'm a speciesist and they don't want to fathom that humans want to be speciesist. Also,
Yeah,
they can't fathom
yeah.
that humans are speciesist and they just can't fathom that humans don't want to eat meat.
Yeah, yeah, and it all comes I think it all comes down to what we're capable of, like what our resources are. Like I'm guessing even though you're a speciesist in a sense, the same sense that I am, that if you were in a burning building with it, or if there's a human and a dog in a burning building, you're going to save the person, and I'm going to save the person as well. But if you had all the resources in the world, all the food, everything you could possibly want, and there was an animal just 5 feet away from you and you could make it suffer so you can get some pleasure from it, I'm guessing you're not going to make it suffer just for fun for the pleasure. You're going to make it you're okay with animals suffering for your own health benefits and because you can look at studies and see that it's not affecting the environment. But if everything was covered, every human was having the greatest life ever, and we had all the food in the world, would would you think that would you value an animal um, less than a rock?
Well, yeah, because an animal is a rock is a inanimate object, but
Mm-hmm.
an animal is a living being, just like a plant. So yeah, I value things that's living rather than something that is not living way more. You know?
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Same here. Because yeah, that's really all it comes down to. If I'm out in the forest and I'm stranded somewhere with my family, I'm going to kill every animal there is to feed my family. But it all comes down to what I'm convinced of or not convinced of. If I was convinced that I need animal products to be healthy, I would eat as few animal products as possible to be healthy. And while I'm convinced to not that you don't need animal products to be healthy, I'm going to not eat animal products. So
Okay, so
yeah,
my biggest argument right now, because I know you're gonna play the video
hmm
by I forgot his name.
vegan phobic.
Yeah, uh-huh. He's a really nice gentleman, but you was talking about like you don't want to offend black people. I have like
Hmm.
2 points I want to bring up. One is like how, because I'm black, you know this, right? Because
Hmm.
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that,
so
but okay.
yeah, so I find it highly disrespectful for other people to compare black people or Jewish people to animals, like livestock.
Mm.
Because I think it's unfair to even remotely consider like, let's say, like slaves or like well, I'm black. I cannot speak for Jewish people, but
Yeah.
if because like yeah, there was no such thing as a slave who was vegan. Slaves before, during, and after slavery in the Atlantic slave trade, they ate meat. So like comparing us to food is just like a bad precedent and a bad thinking ideology that actually what slave owners said like, oh yeah, they're comparable to food. Whatever, just throw that human into the pond with crocodiles. Who cares? It's
Yeah.
not yet. You know.
Yeah,
This is what
I
pisses me off.
personally, well, there's a couple things. If I have conversations with people, I want them to listen to me and hear what I'm saying, and I want to listen to them and hear what they're saying. So I think there's a time and a place to provoke people, but it's not when you want to have an honest conversation. If I refer to animals being killed to eat en masse to as a holocaust, then that's going to make people think it's being compared to the Jewish Holocaust, and then it's just going to do this whole thing. And when I talk to Vegan Gaines, he brings up black people and slavery and slaveless Tuesdays and all this stuff. And I think it's best to have conversations where you're not upsetting people. And so, if there's no point in saying a thing, I don't like to say it. And so that's why I don't like to compare killing animals to Jewish people or black people or whatever. The only comparable element I would say is the same thing that makes me not want to harm humans is what makes me not want to harm cows or dogs. It's their ability to suffer. But I don't think it's equal. I would rather save any human than any other animal. But I do want to clarify, just in case it sounded off, what I was saying about black people in the vegan phobic thing. I actually wasn't referring to him. I forgot that he himself is black. I haven't seen many of his videos. But in the video I started, it was two ladies talking, and they kind of had this attitude, this like flamboyant attitude of queen king thing. And I was just commenting on that that's not an attitude I happen to like. And then I was realizing that it might have sounded like I was saying. That how some Black Americans sound. That I was commenting on that. I don't know if the what country do you live in?
I'm from the Caribbean, but I live in America.
Oh, you're in America now. Okay. Do you know how, especially in the South, black people in the U.S. will say "ax" instead of "ask," and I think it came from a an origins of some kind of British history. Is that a thing that happens in the Caribbean as well?
Yeah, because I believe it's just I think it's like an ideology from like from Africa is instead of like pronouncing it like fully, you kind
Hmm.
of that's why I have like broken English. You just trying to like make it sound like the word, but you remove as much syllables as possible because the more you speak, the more you decrease in your lifespan. So
Oh,
basically,
interesting.
like
Okay,
it said, like ask is like ask.
I see. Okay, I
So
just
it's just a
wanted
word
to.
of the tongue. So yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was pointing out that I wasn't criticizing a sound of talking because of a race. I mean, I don't, the idea of somebody judging somebody by the color of their skin is so idiotic to me. Like, if somebody does it, whatever, like they can do whatever they want. But like, I would just never want to come across as a person that would care about somebody's skin color in a negative way.
No,
And
no,
so
no.
that's
You're a sweetheart.
okay.
You always trying to like make sure that everything is fair. I'm not coming at you anyway because you obviously
For
have
sure.
been fair about it though. So I know I said it multiple times. I don't think it's really a good idea to compare like human beings to the struggle of whatever animals do because at the end of the day we're omnivores and
Hmm.
also too like animals most animals on earth because humans are not animals but let's say humans are animals whatever
Hmm.
most animals on earth eat meat. So like the whole vegan world is just is a complete like you definitely smoking the devil's lettuce, not you, but I'm saying with
Hmm.
this whole vegan world ideology, it's not going to happen because there's no such thing as animal rights when it can't even comprehend what veganism is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay. There's a handful of people I talk to that take pretty extreme stances on being anti-vegan. Would you say that it's good to have a law protecting like a dog from being beat by its owner?
I would say, yeah, like just for no reason. But I'm okay with people eating dogs.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. But yeah, so like let's say that there's a man that takes dogs into his basement and ties them up and just like kind of stabs them a little bit, but he knows he's stabbing them enough that he can see the blood coming out and the dog whimpers, but he knows the dog's going to live. And then he unties the dog and then nurses it back to health and then makes it suffer again. Would you say that if somebody caught this on camera, that he was making this animal suffer just for his own benefit of enjoying watching this happen? But outside of that, everything else this man does, he's a great guy, a great father, a great person in the society, but he tortures dogs for fun. Would you say that he should be told, like, this is illegal? If you keep doing it, you're going to go to jail?
Because if it's not his pet and he's not using the animal for food, then yeah, that's creepy. No.
I no, I agree, and so that's why I think that people think of veganism as an absolute. They think of it as humans don't harm animals at all. Otherwise, and you have that, or you have the opposite of that. And in my mind, it really is just this idea of recognizing that if something can suffer, then different people to different levels can work towards making things not suffer. So somebody can say, I think it's healthy to eat chicken and cow, but it's not it doesn't add any health benefit to torture a dog. So we're going to make it illegal. And so the same thing could go for a cow, an animal that you could kill and eat for health. You probably wouldn't want it to be legal to take it into a basement, slowly torture it, but keep it alive, right?
No, I wouldn't.
Gotcha. So that's kind of my stance on it is we all have our different levels of what we care about and don't care about. And at some point, I think even non-vegans, if they saw if they had the time to be shown the details of what happens in factory farms, they'd probably vote to outlaw certain things but not other things, and it would all be slowly working towards a more vegan world in a sense. And the same thing can go
Yeah.
with the opposite. So I don't eat animals. I haven't eaten animals for
Yeah.
8 years. If I were to buy,
Second,
yeah.
I follow your channel. So yeah, I just recently watched the video you had with
Oh,
Grumpy Vegan Dad, and
granddad.
also
Yeah.
too, yeah, yeah, and also too, Vegan of course. They didn't understand what you were trying to say, that you have to make baby steps towards getting people to go to a vegan world. Because I call myself a vegan ally, because I'll cook vegan food, or just like, look, eat what you want, but I'm not gonna heckle you. But you always talk about what the food I eat. I'll cook vegan food, but the thing is, you have to understand, in order to get people to actually care about factory farming, in order to get vegan people to like think about going vegan, you have to get people to actually care about the conditions of factory farming. You can't just say like, just everyone go vegan. You have to say like, oh, look at these conditions. Like, well, don't you want them to have like better conditions? Then slowly people are
Hmm.
like, okay, yeah. So we could make laws together with people who eat meat to get these conditions better, and then instantly you're gonna have less people eat the meat, or it'll be like
Yeah.
maybe like slightly more or less affordable. Then when we have global healthcare, or sorry, welfare for animals, then it's like, but do you I really have to eat animals? And then vegans will have a better leverage when people actually have more empathy towards the livestock and the factory farming situation with the livestock, but they don't understand
Hmm.
that. This is why I say that you are better for veganism, and I consider them as just like, they want to compare themselves to like Martin Luther King, or just like, be quiet, like how, like
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure, and also it just really comes down to what your values are. I did a poll on my channel asking people if they were obligate carnivores, where if they had to eat only meat to survive and thrive, would they do it or would they let themselves die because they don't want to harm animals? And I would say about half of the vegans that responded said they would eat as little amount of animals as they need to be healthy and no more than that. And so I think everybody's different, and it really just comes. Some people, like Vegan Gain, says that he would let himself die, and I think that's wild. I think that's a silly idea, but it's whatever. More power to him. But if you're wanting to look at your health and then outside of that cause little suffering, then I wouldn't want people to stop eating animals if they were convinced they needed animals to be healthy. If it's true that we need eat animals to be healthy, then I want everyone to eat animals. I'd want to eat them myself, and so far I've done all right, and the little bit I know of studies shows that it's okay, that it's healthy to not eat animals. But it's too recent. Veganism is too recent to say for sure. It would be silly to outlaw it and to make it to where people can't eat it. I just want people to work towards not making animals suffer for their own pleasure. So the guy torturing the dogs or the cows in his basement, to me, it's not too far from somebody eating like an unhealthy ice cream made from dairy milk, where if you know all this processed sugar and garbage is in this ice cream and you're eating it because your dopamine levels are going off and you love it, and a cow had to be milked for it, made pregnant, they have to take the baby away from the mom to give you this food that's just going to make you fat. Like in America, 80% of people are overweight. And if you're eating ice cream just for taste pleasure, it seems less disturbing, but in my mind, it's not much different than a guy with a dog in his basement that he's torturing for fun. And so I want people to work towards eat your dairy, eat your eggs, eat your meat, but buy the healthy versions, buy what you're convinced is actually healthy, not just that you think animals are here for us to eat, so let's ignore their suffering.
Okay, well, I agree with you. But however, though, I do have a debate talking point, and I feel like you're probably the best person to talk about it because vegans like to say, like in a survival situation, you could eat meat. It's like when it comes to like the facts, no vegans give me any like credit over this because they know it's the truth and they don't want to bring this up. But the oldest people to live on Earth to like the oldest age, like it seems like 114 years is where most people like either like live and live a little bit longer, or like they kind of like dwindle away and die to 100, 114 to 126. There's
Oh,
been
wow.
no vegan that has been close to that. So based on the definition of survival is being able to live as long as possible. So technically being able to live till the oldest age is survival. And there's been no vegans, there's only been a few vegetarians to be able to be the oldest age. So technically, based on veganism's point of view, I am in a survival situation because I need to live as long as.
Mm.
And since there's no evidence of vegans living like past like 100, like not even 105, I don't think that vegans live that long. There's no
Yeah.
evidence. So basically, in a survival situation, what it means survival means living as long as I have all right to eat meat because I want to survive, and survival is about living as long as you possibly can, right?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. So,
Hmm.
okay, so I'm a pretty open and honest person. I probably have my biases the way most people do, but I'm willing to look at anything, and as soon as my mind is changed, I just change it that quick. If you were to show me something that made me feel convinced that I would live to 120 off eating some animal products, where if I didn't and I was the healthiest vegan possible, and I was convinced that I'd only live to be 90 as a vegan but 120 as a non-vegan, then I probably would switch over. But it's complicated. Studies are complicated. I don't know if you've heard of the blue zones, but
Yes, yes, the blue zones. Yeah, this is usually like around like some places in the Mediterranean, so
yeah.
Mediterranean, and also to Loma Linda, and then also to one is in like Japan.
Yeah, and then strangely enough, one of them's an area in California where it's just a kind of a community of what is it, Seventh Day Adventists,
And yeah,
and
I know this all about this. Like only 8% of the people over there are like vegans. Most of them just like stay away from processed food, which is the biggest problem in anyone's diet.
hundred
This is
percent.
what. Hmm. So yeah, only 8% are vegans, and they're actually people who are pescatarians or people who eat meat but just practice a healthy lifestyle. Stay away from cigarettes, stay away from the booze. You can't go to the bar and get drunk like every weekend and expect to be good and just like chugging on like French fries. They eat healthy whole foods, and basically the meat eaters outlive them. Pescatarians second, vegetarians, and then vegans are last. But only 8% of them are vegans, and it's on the website. You can look it up.
Okay, yeah, I'll look into it. I know, like, I know the blue zones aren't necessarily thought to be vegan, but they're, from my understanding, they're thought to be, not only are you right that it's not processed, but that it's almost all, like, 97% of their diet or 90% or whatever is whole plant foods, and then some of them eat fish and different things like that. And
Whole
but
food,
yeah,
whole
there's a
food in
lot.
general.
Yeah,
Whole
and so
food.
there's a lot to study. Like, are you familiar with Jordan Peterson and Michaela Peterson?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. So I made a video a while back about them because they're both on the carnivore diet, and they both had a lot of health issues. And going on the carnivore diet healed those health issues. And here's where I think we can have something we can easily agree on, and then there's ideas that are up in the air, and that is that no matter what, their health issues were fixed because they eliminated all the bad. But the question is, what is the bad? If they did their same diet where they eliminated all the bad, but if they would have kept, say, 10 fruits and 10 veggies in there, but it was like whole foods and they just ate these whole foods and their meat, would they have been healed the same way because they got rid of the processed stuff? And what if it was 10 fruits and 10 veggies, but no meats, but they cut out all the processed stuff? So I don't know the answer. If 20 years from now, I find out that I'm convinced that meat is the healthiest route, I won't even be surprised because, again, that's how early this all is. But what I will say is, meat or no meat, the processed garbage is killing us all. And I really wish my fellow vegans would try to cut out all the processed garbage. So that way we can at least see how healthy we can be. Because if somebody's a couple 100 pounds overweight and fighting for veganism, somebody's going to go like, oh, well, I want to at least be healthy if I'm going to be moral. And they won't want to. So.
Yeah, I fully agree with you because there's no evidence that vegans like live long on their diet, and then also too, there's like virtually zero evidence that people who just eat like only meat live long. So basically, they're in
Mhm.
the same boat. There's like they're just like nothing more than lab rats. So they're just trying
Yeah.
to see who's the healthiest. But the thing is, omnivore diet, you just have to make sure that you hit all your weekly required nutrients and just stay away from
Yeah.
the processed food because that's the biggest factor. The reason why people are so obese and unhealthy in America is not because of the meat, is because like say like if you want to eat like say like a burger, like if you want to go to
Hmm.
like say McDonald's, right? It's
Hmm.
not the meat because the meat is 100% all beef patty, but the bread is processed.
Yeah.
The lettuce is GMO. Who knows what it's sprayed with? The tomato is GMO. Then you also too
Hmm.
get the sauce in there that's heavily GMO with a bunch of like, and then the
And the
French
soda.
fries. The French fries instead of having it in tallow, now they're dunking it in like toxic vegetable oils.
Yeah.
And God, who knows when last time they actually changed the oil if they ever did. you know. Then you got the
Um,
soda. You could just chug
yeah.
away with the free soda fountain, and it's like, yeah. And then
Oh
really,
yeah.
do you really
Just
want to blame it on the 100% beef patty, or do you want to blame it
right.
on everything else that's
Oh,
processed?
I would say for sure a fast food restaurant that has 100% beef patties, that's going to be one of the healthiest things in the restaurant because drinking
Yeah.
your calories and sugar is no good. And I want to point out, normally when I do podcasts, it's morning my time, and I have my cup of cold brew coffee, and I've been sipping on this guy. This is it's called Zevia. It's a soda where it's just stevia extract, like the stevia sweetener, and then
Mm.
carbonated water. And it's anyways, I don't even know. I just didn't want people to think I was talking about health food and chugging away at like a beer or a soda. It's on the healthy side, but yeah, I completely agree. I think one of the biggest issues probably is sweets, like having cookies, ice cream, candy. Like candy bars are on every single checkout stand at a grocery store, and you can buy these big boxes of candy for 50 cents, and it's just horrible. It's I don't know what the right answer is of how to fix it, other than trying to get all the humans in the world
Yeah.
to become healthy
That's my
together.
question. Carson, can you even call it chocolate though? Because chocolate will you have to be over like at least 70% cacao or
Yeah.
cacao they call it. That do you really call that chocolate?
Right? No, fair point. Yeah, I really wish, and I think the only way to do it is to have everybody in your household or your friends, like every whoever you are around, have it be people that want to be healthy and encourage each other to do well. Because it's sad. Honestly, I care about animals and I care about veganism. It's a very important topic to me. But I would rather my fellow humans uh, keep eating animals and get healthy than I would want them to turn vegan. I want them to turn vegan eventually, or at least work towards it. I want them to stop harming animals for pointless foods like ice cream and deep fried like chicken nuggets and stuff like that. But if
Mm,
people are going to truly be healthy and get, especially people that get their meat from hunting, a deer lives its entire life not being caged in, and then in seconds it's taken out. Like that's a small worry for me in a world full of many countries that have female circumcision and wars going on in Israel and Ukraine. Like there's a lot of problems in the world, and I don't think a big issue is going to be people going hunting. But the factory farming is pretty bad, and that's why I want my message in veganism to be a focus on the welfare and to care about the suffering of these animals.
I agree with you. Hopefully I can get back on one of your community. Maybe you could unblock me from your channel. You don't have to, but I'm saying because I have points that vegans need to think about. Because if the
Mm.
world goes vegan, I really don't care. If it doesn't, I don't care. But
Wait,
however, though, I'm more.
do you think you were blocked from my channel?
Apparently, I can't comment on your lives anymore.
Oh, interesting. So okay, even under the name that you commented on here, that's a different name than you normally have. Is that
Yeah, this is my
because the?
this is my troll account, but my name that you see on the screen, that's my original name on my
Oh,
YouTube.
okay.
Yeah, this is my troll
Y-
account.
yeah, I recognize your name. And a lot of people will refer to you as a troll in the comments, and I actually I don't view you as a troll, but I guess you have an account that's a troll account for trolling people, which is
Yeah, this
fine.
is my actual troll account, which I hardly use.
That's funny. Yeah, let me see. I wonder how to find ban from studio, kick out. I'll have to look through to see.
Yeah,
There
you
might
probably
have.
shouldn't do it on live stream because you might accidentally expose some information.
Right.
So
I
yeah,
think maybe what happened was, so every once in a while, if I'm doing a live stream or something and there's a good conversation happening in the chat, and then somebody goes in there and it seems like they're spam posting, sometimes I'll block them from chatting. But I figured that that would just block them from chatting at that chat. I didn't realize it would make them never be able to come back, because I actually do enjoy seeing you show up in chat, and I've really enjoyed this conversation. I'm really glad you came on.
yeah, because because I want to bring some points that vegans need to be worried about because I want to like bring out the information to people, but I
Hmm.
feel like I need to tell a vegan so they could actually like critique it and actually like so it doesn't become like a one slide in hell because the whole point of like survival, the oldest people, which actually is a fact when you look at it, like Hong Kong has the longest life expectancy, and they also to eat the most meat on earth compared to some place like
Mm.
super vegan friendly, like India, where they say like, "Ooh, India should be the lands of the ahimsa," but they have like a life expectancy of 40, which is actually pretty horrible.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
stuff
well,
like
I'm
that.
I'm obsessed with health. I'm not an expert in any way, but if you have any recommendations for books to check out or YouTube videos or anything to check out, send them my way and I'll check them out, and I'll try to figure out how to get you unblocked from this.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyways, it's
So
great.
so what I'm saying
Yeah.
though, I know you want to do your show, so I don't want to hold you up too much.
Yeah, you're fine.
But the last thing I want to say though is vegans need to understand that me, I'm a speciesist. So like if I had to choose between like one human baby or like a billion pigs, or sorry, one human infant, or yeah, infant, or like a billion piglets, I'm choosing the infant, and I'm okay
Mm.
with like killing the piglets because I'm a speciesist like that.
Yeah.
But if a vegan said that they would choose to save a human over like infant over two piglets, that means they're speciesist because they should only mean that two lives is greater than one. So they should
Hmm.
automatically choose the two piglets over one human being. But vegans won't either. They don't want to say it or they don't want to admit it because they don't want to sound like misanthropes. So
Yeah,
they don't want to sound misanthropic. So
I'm not a huge fan of the word speciesist or speciesism. It's just it complicates things, and I think it's so much easier just to declare what you care about. So you care about humans, but you also care about animals. You're going to eat them because you care more about yourself than you care about them themselves, and I do too. But the idea of like a label existing to for somebody to declare if they care more about a piglet or a human, I think it just is a destructive label. It's just I don't usually like many of the isms. I don't like many of the phobias when people say like Islamophobic or racism, all these different
okay,
things.
but I agree with you though. But vegans have a technicality over me because like if I say like, oh, you have a pet cow, it's like cool, that's cool. It's like, oh, I have a cow as livestock. It's like, oh, okay, so when can we eat it? But you have a pet cow, and I'm like, okay, so it's your pet. It's like if you have like a pet dog, a pet cat, I'll treat it like your pet. Or a pet pig, I'm just
Hmm.
like, oh, this pig is really cool. But I say like if you have your dog, cat, or pig, whatever animal is your livestock, then I'm like, okay, it's livestock, but when can we eat it? So the
Hmm.
technicality is like if vegans could actually manage to make all animals like considered pets, which would be difficult but possible, then I mean I'm not gonna eat anyone's pet.
Yeah.
That's the only technicality they have over me. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah, it's pretty
mean?
complicated. Well, so for me, I'm torn too because I care a lot about freedom and people. Like I don't need people to be given pleasure. I just want them to not be made to suffer and have the freedom to figure out what they want to do themselves. So like I mostly lean like libertarian, and when it comes to animals, I feel like in a world where, let's say hypothetically, we don't need animals to be healthy. Let's imagine that you were convinced the healthiest way is to not eat animals. I would think that we shouldn't have pets or livestock or anything like that, and animals should just be left out into the wild. Now, if we need animals to survive, that's a whole different story. Obviously, it's just like lions would have to eat like a zebra or gazelle to survive, and to be healthy. So if we need to eat animals to be healthy, that's a whole different story. But I just this idea of pets. I don't know if you have pets or if you like the idea of pets, but I just feel like anything living that can feel and make choices on their own should have this freedom to do what they want to do.
But you see, that's kind of like I understand what you're saying, but there's some animals who just like enjoy like being alive. So there's like I think it's called like a capybara. They're like one of the most friendliest animals. I think it's like you see in
Mm.
South America.
Yeah,
They'll like
South
literally
America.
run up to a human. Like some deers are just like don't know like anything about humans. They're like oh, and just like walk up to humans. So
Hmm.
it's like we could leave animals alone, but some animals like especially like birds, they just like want to just like be around us.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Like
well, when
ducks
I
too,
when
but
I
ducks are
talk
just like yeah. So
I was
sorry.
just gonna say, like when I talk about not being okay with pets, the best thing I've come up with for dogs would be like if I lived out in the wild and some like kind of tame non-wild wolf came up to me and I had like a cabin and it just wanted to be with me, like I wasn't forcing it to. If I just left the door off and the dog could just come in and hop on the bed and sleep in the same bed that I sleep in, but whenever it wanted, it just got up and ran outside and it's in the wild. Like I'm not against humans being around animals. I just don't like the idea of forcing it in somewhere, and it's kind of complicated because we've domesticated them over the years and whatnot. But just this
No,
idea
no,
that like,
I understand that though, but I think the complication will be the communication though. So that's why people talk about
yeah.
name the trait. The trait is communication because it's just like, look, I love you. You love to come over here, wild wolf. But the thing is, you
Hmm.
bring a lot of ticks, and also too is like you come over here and like you're cool, but I don't know, I don't care to be around your other wolf friends because I can only feed one wolf. The wolf doesn't understand that. So they're like you're surrounded by wolves and then the other wolves might get jealous because you're treating this wolf nice but not the other wolves nice. So then now
Hmm.
you barricade in your house because these wolves are pissed off at you. So now you have to grab a gun and now so there's gonna be a war between you and the wolves. So you see, that's
Gotcha.
why they don't understand the communication because the wolf doesn't understand. Like, don't bring your friends, and also too, when you come home, just like go like take a bath in the in the river and wash off those ticks because I don't want ticks in here also too. So
Yeah.
the yeah, so that's like that's why name the trait doesn't work, and also too is like we have communication because I say like, look, if you want to come over, I'm gonna make some food, and then we just like if you don't get the hint, I'm just like okay. In the Caribbean, we say like when you turn the broomstick upside down, that means we want you to leave. We're just like, I have to go to sleep, so I mean, I'm not telling you to go home, but you can't stay here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Wolves cannot understand it. Other animals cannot understand our consent. They couldn't even fathom the ideology of what we're thinking of veganism, like much less like fish in the ocean. So this is why the
Yeah.
whole veganism could only work for human beings who can understand this. So this is what I'm trying to tell
Yeah.
vegans. They need to deep think what they're saying and like be be with meat eaters because we actually care about livestock because I care about livestock because I love them, but they need to
Mm-hmm.
figure out a way how to get people ease people in rather than calling them animal abusers, this buzzword, this other buzzword, and like
Yeah. Well, yeah, just to be decent and work towards a better future.
yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a great talk. Oh, real quick. So you said you're from the Caribbean, but is it Caribbean or Caribbean? I always forget.
Well, I said Caribbean.
Caribbean. Okay. So yeah, yeah, because it's the movie Pirates of the Caribbean, but I think people from there say Caribbean. But yeah, my wife's going there doing a vacation there in about a couple days. She's been there
Oh,
before, loves it. Do you go back and visit often?
no,
Oh, okay. How long have you been
I've
living
been
here?
since like 2007.
Oh, okay. Do
Yeah,
you
I think the reason they
prefer?
call it Caribbean
Mhm.
instead of Carib because of the original the inhabitants before they got chased out, they were called the Caribs.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Gotcha. Do you
Yeah.
prefer living here to there?
Nah, I'm trying to move to another country.
Oh, where are you going?
I don't know. I want to see how Africa is. It might be a little difficult for me to see what Ireland. Maybe they might not accept me, or just like
Hmm.
maybe some Asian country, someplace next to the ocean.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Sounds good. Well, anyways, thanks for calling in and chatting here. And yeah, I'll see you in the comments and I'll try to get you unbanned from here if I can figure out how to do that. I'll have to have
All
some
right.
young tech savvy youngster show me how to do it. All right.
All right.
Take care, my friend.
Thank you. Bye bye.